right, guys. Welcome to the first ever episode of Golf Course Living, hosted by me, Gabriel Ryder, Weekenders Weekly, my co-host here.
Brandon Soars with Soars Property here.
If you guys need a building, you talk to my man right here.
Talk to me.
You don't go to anybody else.
Open 24/7. If you need to talk about golf, talk to Weekenders Weekly here.
I can help with you just a little bit. I'm struggling to help myself these days. But like we said, this is called Golf Course Living for a reason. We have meshed our two kind of fortes into a single thing and brought it together.
Two worlds collide, man. It's just we're two friends, known each other for a long time.
Too long.
Too.
I can definitely beat him in boxing.
Yeah, exactly. And we're just trying to put some ideas together and see what happens. You know?
After that helpless plea he just gave you, I hope you guys would enjoy this episode.
Exactly. We're not asking to help. We're asking to help you.
Yes, we are really just here for your help, and that's it. And let's start off. And obviously, first of all, a big shout out to, he can't hear me, but he's standing right there, my guy Alex and his guy Matt, taking us out to the Miami Watch Club event. Freaking great event. Unbelievable watches, huh?
Nucleus Grove, great watches tonight, great people.
Yeah.
Great studio, actually.
Shout out Nucleus Grove, man. This is a sick studio. You guys probably never see me with such a good microphone in front of my face.
I've honestly never been in such a setup before, so first time here.
Very nice, though.
Very nice.
People here are great. Dan and Anthony really helped us out, set up all the tech, just so we could come out here and just talk about Talk about some watches first, because we're at the Miami Watch Club at the Nucleus Studios in the Grove. So, Brandon, why don't you show us what you got on the wrist? Why don't you show the camera what you got on the wrist?
All right, I'll go first. Today we got Omega Speedmaster.
Put it up to the cam. Let them see. Let them see. Okay.
We got a sapphire back, so clear back too.
Sapphire back, you said. Clear back.
Always love the Omegas, so I'm super happy to have it on tonight. Great event.
Yeah.
Gabe, why don't you tell us what you have on?
I have I'll take, it's easy to take off. This is a Studio Underdog. I'll show, does this move with me a little bit?
That moves with you.
Show to the camera. So this is a Studio Underdog watch. They have 3 series of watches. This is a British micro brand. This is the Series 01, if I'm correct. This is the Series 01. This is the Series 02. All right, so the guys will edit all this out.
Exactly. No, we'll edit it. But can you tell me what a micro brand is, Gabe? I'm not familiar.
Yeah. So a watch micro brand is essentially, it's just, you have your big box brands, you could say, where you have Rolex, Tag, Patek, obviously, all varying different levels of price and production. Now a micro brand is interesting because it's such like a very small, you can almost call it watch house. For example, Studio Underdog, I think we're talking very much less than 50 employees. And basically everything about it, what you get out of that is everything is very much handcrafted, handmade, and very detailed. And, for example, like the leather strap is created by a certain person whose name I unfortunately forget, but he's another British person, and his entire business is making leather watch straps by hand. So he makes all the straps for every Studio Underdog watch. And what I also like about Studio Underdog is that they like to put a very what they call their playful twist on their watches. So when at first glance, like, this is, it's a very nice watch, but it's also in a sense plain. It's white with the black strap.
It has a classic and timeless design that I would say
exactly
true,
but it's nothing.
To a lot of watches
but you wouldn't look at it and say it's so unique, which is not a bad thing at all. In fact, like, that classicness of it is, I think, the draw. But it is unique. You just can't tell. I wish I could show, but it is painted. So there are multiple layers of glass in this face. And what that does is that it gives the numbers almost the effect of floating. They have a shadow because the numbers are not painted onto the white part of the face. The numbers are painted onto a plane of glass that sits elevated above the actual watch face. I'm going to try and show to the camera here. hopefully that picks it up just a little. And it's also painted with bioluminescent paint from jellyfish, so it glows in the dark like really bright and for a long time.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
not to mention your watch. Is there anything unique about it? Has it gone anywhere interesting ever in its history, or?
Well, the first thing I will say is that the numbers and stripes on my dial also do have that jellyfish paint that glows very bright when you point the light at it. I definitely like that a lot. And they actually call this version of the Speedmaster the Sapphire Sandwich, since it actually has a sapphire dial, or the glass, excuse me, and the sapphire in the back too, where the other one, what's it called, the metal back with insignia is called I forgot what it's called, but it starts with an H. I've always loved this watch.
I like glass back watches a lot.
Yeah, you can really see what's going on back there.
I love that.
Yeah, exactly.
One of my other watches is the Tag Heuer Carrera Calibre 01.
The classic.
Big fan of that. It's a very
rubber strap, right?
That's what I like. It's a rubber strap, which gives you that more, you could say, casual style. So you can wear it down, but it's a complicated face. You can it's a skeleton face with a date. It's not day, but it has a date on it. So you can kind of see the ring throughout the entire watch face. So It is kind of a busy watch, but I'm a fan of it because it's a big face. It kind of leaves room for everything there. And as well as it having that rubber strap, which gives it that sporty aspect, which I'm a big fan of as well. So
yeah,
that's definitely, and unfortunately, actually, I think the back of that one is glass. You know, like I said, I'm a big fan of the glass back. This one, as I just showed the camera, is a metal back. But the other Studio Underdog I have is not just a glass back, but probably the largest glass back I've ever seen in my life. You can basically see every little thing happening in that watch. Pretty cool.
Excuse me with the Diet Coke real quick.
Why don't you get that closer to the microphone next time? Oh, a little cocktail action happening.
Action, Gabe. Would you like some?
I think I would love some.
Honestly,
actually.
Yeah, take a little drink break. Yeah, we're a big fan of the whiskey Diet Coke.
Yeah, why not have a whiskey Diet Coke? I mean, what would you say, whiskey Diet Coke or whiskey rocks? Or does it depend on the whiskey? Let's say it's Woodford.
Woodford, I'm usually going rocks because I really want to enjoy the flavor.
I like that.
But you know, when you're at the golf course, a whiskey Diet Coke, ice cold on a nice day, never go wrong with that.
Nah, you low-key, on the course, I feel like there's just certain times where it's like, whether it's so hot or sometimes if it's a longer round and it's just like you're a little stressed, it kind of begs more of a cocktail. And I think that's kind of cool that we have certain golf cocktails like a John Daly or Transfusion, which we really don't have in other sports unless or what's the one they have for the U.S. Open? The Honey Deuce.
The Honey Deuce.
That might be the most famous golf cocktail.
Did you see those people that took 20 stack of 20 cups home after one day with those honeydews?
No.
Those Grey Goose, they would walk
like
out the stack of 20 trash. I mean, that's how you got to do it, honestly.
Did you see the stack this guy had at the Waste Management Open yesterday?
Yeah, honestly.
It was a stack. It was legitimately it might have been genuinely 15 to 20 feet tall.
If you're not doing it like that, you're doing it wrong. That's golf course living, right? We like to stay relaxed.
Yeah.
We like to stay chill and cool.
Golf course living, obviously the name of our pod. It is going to be, like we said, we've combined our two kind of fortes into almost a new medium for both of us in the sense of a pod, and basically just kind of talk to people in the industry, people in the houses, developers, contractors, architects, just people who kind of sit in the interesting world that is what are houses on golf courses. And whether it's at your local course or it's the $50 million mansion at Tiger's private club, it really just kind of depends on obviously location and clientele, but I feel like that there's a story in all these places, right? And that's kind of what we're here to find.
Yeah, absolutely. And when someone's looking for a house, when they buy the house on the course, they had that in mind before. They're looking for something specific, and there's something to be said about that.
Yeah, for sure. It's like golf itself is so niche, and for someone to, let's say you want to live on a golf course, like you understand the risks that come with that,
Exactly.
whether it's the balls flying around or the fact that you're always going to have people kind of near your personal area and for a long period of time every day.
You really just got to enjoy the game, I feel like.
Well, above all, for sure, like the fact that if you're living on a golf course, you don't like golf, like there's a problem there. I don't see any world where you would live on a golf course if you don't expressly love golf like a lot.
Exactly. If your golf ball gets hit, or if your window gets hit by a golf ball on the course, you should be happy.
Yeah, you should be like
you should be accepting the ball into your home.
Yeah, expecting because
accept the ball into your home.
At one point, you were probably the guy on the other side hitting the goddamn ball into the house. Yo, what is the worst damage you've ever done to a house on a golf course?
Honestly, I think I just hit a little skadunk on the roof, but actually a funny story. One time we were at Palmetto Golf Course. Me, Gabe, our friend Mitchell, and I think our friend Matthew. But Mitchell was on the tee shot on, what hole was it?
That's 12.
12, yeah. And,
par 4.
Par 4. Goes up to the tee box to hit a shot. Sometimes it doesn't go well. But this time, the ball went straight into...
It went bad.
Yeah, it went bad. The woman whose yard / house it went to wasn't happy. She came out and
who hit that slice?
Word for word, she said, "Fix your slice." And yeah, that was honestly a good one. That's what makes living on a golf course feel like exciting. And for the golfers playing next to houses, that makes things more interesting as well. So it's really cohesive.
Yeah, there's some courses I'll look at, like if I haven't played it, and I'll look on Google Maps, and you see like every fairway is just lined with houses. Like, it's going to be at least, if anything, interesting, dude. I remember one time, I would say probably the worst damage I ever put onto a house had to be at Biltmore on the 11th hole. Just big old slice-a-rama out the left side, dude. I'm a lefty.
Drilled her into the old concrete.
Good old whatever roof tiles made out of ceramic, or just good enough to the fact. But the bad part about this is that I saw it bounce off the roof, and I saw it take one bounce like into the yard and sit there. So and they had like patio, where they like hit their patio and bounce from patio to yard. And I was like, ugh. So like I knew where it was, and I knew that I had a good chance of causing express damage in this terrible attempt at a driver, and it was just bad all around. And you never want to hear I would say even worse than watching your ball, like you'll hit a shot in golf and like it's heading into the water like the moment you hit it, and you just have to sit there and just watch it, and you just wish you could just sit. I think something even worse than that is hitting a shot that is heading to trouble, and then all of a sudden you just hear.
Well, that's what makes you come back and play even better the next time.
Yeah, right? That's it's all about. If there's one piece of golf advice I could leave in this podcast, it's the fact that literally it's true. It is not about the shot you just hit by any means. It's always about the next shot. Even if it's a bad shot, then yeah, you got to make sure you forget about it and hit the good shot next. But if it's a great shot, if you hit a great drive, it doesn't matter. That's 3 seconds to hit that great drive, and it's over. You better forget about it and start thinking about the next one, because if you hit a great drive and then hit 5 strokes after every single hole, you're not having a good day out there. So I think
the main idea is that you just got to pick up and go either way, whether you hit it bad or good.
Yeah, exactly.
And you got to think about, like you said, the next shot.
Well, that's the idea about staying like level-headed throughout the entire golf round, not getting too, obviously not getting angry at yourself. But I also think it's interesting, and something that I don't think amateurs really ever think about is the same idea, like not to get yourself too excited, Like if you're playing okay, let's say you're playing okay all day. Let's say you're plus 6 through 9. And then on the 10th hole, you get like, obviously if you get like a hole-out eagle from like 150 yards, you're going to go crazy. But let's say you make like a 20-footer for birdie. I don't think that you should be like, oh my God, like let's go. you want to stay level. I know it's weird, and your friends might even think you're funny, like, oh, what are you acting so cool? Like, you do that shit all the time? You don't. No, you don't, but if you act like you do, then you're prepared for the next one. You're ready to go in. You won't have to calm yourself down.
I think to be the devil's advocate here, it's hard to stay cool when you're playing golf in either both extremes, right? You hit a great shot, it's hard not to celebrate that shot. And also when you're in the lowest of lows, you chunk the ball, you hit a terrible shot, it's hard not to get mad. And I think that's honestly one of the hardest things that even I struggle with in golf. Not so much the technicals, but how you look at the game. And like you say to me a lot of times, how you look at the game really decides how your shots come out.
Yeah.
And your game comes out at the end of the day. So
even today, like, we were playing at Granada today, and my first few holes were really not so good. And I do have a thing where I really believe that range time is very important. But, you know, like I said, first 3 holes, really not so good. And I was like 50-something yards away on the par 3 for my second shot. So, like, not even good at all. And I literally said to myself, today's not the day. I don't have the swing. Stop trying so hard. Just hit it onto the green, 2-putt, and get a bogey. I hit the shot to 6 inches.
Yeah.
Just without even thinking about it. Obviously, it's better to be lucky than good. But at the same time, you have to put yourself in the situation where you're not going to try so hard. You're not going to freak out. Not just freak out in your reaction to the shot, but freak out before the shot, and then it has to be good. It has to be good. If you lower your expectations, will you surpass them? Obviously, but lowering your expectations will also, in general, lead you to play better golf.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think it's good to think about all these things before you play and when you're playing. And I try to. And I think for a lot of golfers out there, the fact is that you know what's right and you know what to do. But in the moment where you're looking at the ball, you're over the ball, about to hit it, it's like, honestly, I feel something triggers inside of you where it's like primitive. And everything goes out and you're like, wow, I need to kill this thing, or I need to hit a good shot. And at the end of the day, like you said, when the times when I've remembered to be relaxed and not really care about what happens, that's when I hit the best shots. And that's the fun thing about golf, is it's really tricky, and you think of the opposite, honestly, and do better.
It's funny because, like, I was slicing it today with the driver, which happens every so often, and I realized on hole number 9 out of 9 that it was because I was using my arms to lead and not my hips.
Yeah.
So on 9, I led with my hips and hit a beautiful drive, my best one of the day. Literally, in the time it took me to walk from the tee box to my ball and get ready for my second shot with the 3-wood, I was getting into my zone for the shot, and I didn't have to back off, but I almost had to back off because I didn't even think to myself until right when I was in my position to use the hips. Literally, the match-saving swing thought for me. I couldn't barely remember from one shot to the next. So I feel like that's what it is. Like, there'll be times where I'll be halfway through a round of golf, and then I'll be like, oh my God, I totally forgot to think about the thing I told myself to remember a few weeks ago.
Exactly. And I feel like when you don't have that range time at the beginning, it takes you a few holes to remember exactly what you need to do. Stand over the ball, arms straight, smooth is slow,
stay low,
or
like
slow is
all
smooth,
the little
smooth
stuff.
Is fast. All the little stuff, exactly.
I just feel like when you don't have range time and you jump right on the ball, like, I like to get, this course doesn't have let's just preface, this is a 9-hole. It does not, a beautiful course, it just does not have a range. It has chipping and putting, does not have a range. It has a pitching area as well, not a range. So, and I unfortunately was running late and got there like 5 minutes for the tee, or more like 10 minutes for the tee time. So I basically go, pay, and then I step up on the box. And I didn't stretch, didn't this, that. And sure, I'm not there to shoot a crazy score. Like we're saying, I played bad today. I did not let it affect me. I had an amazing round in terms of how I enjoyed it. But in that same vein, like, how am I supposed to think to myself, oh, I'm going to go out here and play so well, when deep down I don't, even though, like, yes, obviously I'm not physically prepared, I don't even feel prepared mentally in that sense, you know?
No, yeah, absolutely. And I completely agree with you, because when I don't have an example of the motions that I need to be doing before the round, then I'm making my example during the round.
Yeah.
And making examples is never great. You need to know exactly what you're doing.
Just make an example out of yourself.
Exactly. You're making an example out of yourself. And when you make an example out of yourself, it's either really good or really bad. Usually it's pretty bad on the golf course. But, you know,
there's always the chance things will go right. Like today. Like today. Let's seriously, let's use you as an example. We're on hole 9. You unfortunately did not hit a good drive. It went a little bit left. It went short. And I said to you, and just to remind you as a friend, I said, remember, it's the next one. You're going to drill this thing down the middle. Exactly. Bro, tell me you did not drill that thing 240 down the middle with the
exactly.
3-wood.
I hit a terrible drive. I don't even know if I could consider that a drive.
Yeah, it was bad. That's okay.
Went on right near the red tee box, pulled out the 3-wood, and drilled that bitch down the fairway.
He did, though. He really did, though. Chop a stick, 3-stick it.
You can always come back from your lowest lows, and I think that applies to life as well. And
there you go.
And that's a whole nother topic for another podcast. But golf and life and the mentalities behind each of them really are cohesive, and they really relate. And I think playing golf is a good way to kind of get right in your regular life, if that makes any sense. I know I'm not using the right words, but
no, I think you are. Like, you know, you get I don't want to say accustomed, but it's almost like golf teaches you, you know, it teaches you patience. It teaches you what's the word? Not dedication, but, you know, consistency. Perseverance. It teaches you, it makes you look internal, because golf is almost all internal, because that's something that I noted about it. Like, yes, you know, there's times where you're playing golf in the rain, or you're playing golf in the wind, or you're in a bunker, or there's water in front of you, but, you know, you out of most of everything, you know, there's times where people will say to me, like, oh, this is such a hard course, and I'll look at them and I'll be like, yo, if I hit the ball straight every time, it wouldn't be a hard course, you know, because I wouldn't care about going out of bounds. I wouldn't care about the water. I wouldn't care about the sand. At the end of the day, it's just you hit the ball straight. What's gonna happen, right?
And that all comes back down to your expectations.
Yeah.
Meaning, you could really most of the time hit the ball straight if you wanted to, but the thing is, you want to get closer to the hole, you want to hit a fade, you want to hit a draw, you want to get fancy with it in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, like, you got to strive towards those shots to really get better at the game, because, you know, if you're just half swinging it, putting it straight every time, you could do that, but your score is never really going to be on par with what you strive towards. And that's, I feel like, the shots what you strive towards, what you might not hit often, is what keeps you coming back to the game.
Isn't that interesting that golf is like one of the sports where the best type, you know, and what you could say, the best type of golf, almost objectively, the best type of golf is boring golf. You know, you hear people say that. It's the golf where, you know, if I'm the person golfing and someone said to me, hey, you're going to have a round where you got 18 fairways, 18 greens, no hazards, 9 pars, 9 birdies, I'd say, are you kidding me? But, you know, that round is going to look very boring, you know, quote unquote, like straight ball, putt, 2-putt, straight ball, 2-putt, you know, every single time. It's, you know, is it as fun as, you know, hooking a drive, then having to force yourself to hit a stinger draw, and then having to hit a flop shot because you got short of the bunker? I feel like that's subjective. There's certain, like today, I didn't care about my score. There was a time where I had a shot at a flag that was on a little bit of a ridge. Usually I just run it up. Today I was like, I'll try my flop shot. It was terrible, but I didn't care. Now, you know, normally I just play the boring side. Little, you know, neutral club face, hit it nice and smooth, not a bump and run, but you kind of know what I mean. Like, just skip it up.
Exactly. At the end of the day, everyone wants their shot to be sexy. Everyone wants the like you could put that on TV sort of thing. But 90% of the time, it doesn't happen like that. And if you're getting up the fairway closer to the hole, I guess, like you all say to me, and like you've been saying, you just got to be happy with progress, and even in your practice as well.
It's so cliched at this point, but it's so true. Like, the whole idea of no pictures on the scorecard, like, it really is true. And I have a lot of friends of mine that hit it a lot farther than me, who do not shoot as well as I do, just because of and I'm not saying that for any reason other than the fact that I've spent much more hours than they have focusing on things like mental fortitude in golf and short game.
What's that book you always tell me to read?
Zen Golf. If you read any book for golf, I'm sure Putting Out of Your Mind by Bob Rotella is that good. I have not read that one. I don't need it, unfortunately. I've read a lot of great golf books, and Zen Golf, above all, where he gathers his information and how he relates it to golf and the information itself is just next level in terms of how it will make you look at golf and how it will help you look at your life in some aspects as well. I'm telling you, it is maybe the best, probably one of the better books that can do golf and self-help at the same time. And for golf itself, I mean, some of the stuff he talks about, it's so out there, it'll make you think of the entire game of golf in a different way.
Yeah, and I'm guilty. I haven't read it yet, but this kid talks it up to me every time.
Please read it.
In the course. Yeah,
if you're bad at golf, just read it. I'm
with you guys. We all need to read it.
I tell this kid that I told him that this book will help his golf game so much, and I'll tell you the same too. Like, if you're someone who laments about how bad they are at golf and you haven't read Zen Golf, if you're hearing me say to you, read Zen Golf, you are not allowed to complain about being bad at golf until you read Zen Golf, because I just told you how to get better. So if you're not going to read it and just complain about how bad you are, you're a lazy piece of shit, and that's the only thing I got to say to you. Or you're just busy. But you got to stop complaining either way.
Yeah. I hope once I eventually read it, I can agree with our guy Gabe.
You will. It is so good.
Exactly.
It is. I was so surprised. I'm really not. I like books, but I never really thought that I would dip into, not even for golf, but in general, a book written in this way. I wouldn't call it a self-help book, but I would definitely say that a lot of the things he talks about, he relates not just to bettering yourself in golf, but as a person. Yeah. And it's from a background I would not expect, and I have no interest in, just no experience in for sure. So I was taken aback, honestly. I was so surprised. And the wonders that book did to my golf game, man. I literally, when I was in the middle of reading that book, I was shooting the lowest scores of my life. And it's just not a coincidence. I was approaching everything different. My entire pre-shot routine comes from that book. My entire mentality on putting comes from that book. Chipping mentality comes more from Phil Mickelson's lessons. I think he did a book and video form. But I'll tell you, there's a certain batch of Phil Mickelson tips for chipping that I just implemented into my game and just basically copied it completely physically wise, and I have very little problems, very little. So he explains it in a way that's good for righties and lefties, which is good. So.
Well, he's both, right?
No, I mean, once you get to a certain level,
exactly.
They're kind of able. I'm not sure about Phil, though, what his dominant, because I'm lefty, but I write with my right hand, so.
Yeah.
And I know lefties that write with their left hand. What is the nicest house you've ever seen on a golf course?
Good question. First one that comes to mind is at At Deering Bay, there's a really nice house.
Oh, yeah.
What's that? What's the one with the hole over the water?
Yeah.
Over the bushes.
The 9. You're thinking of 9. All the way at the back of 9
exactly,
by the green.
All the way at the back of 9. Nice
yeah.
Roman-looking villa with a pool in the back. Open
got a statue.
Yeah, statues and everything. I always love that house when I see it.
It's a good shout.
Yeah, I'm sure if I jog my memory, I'll think of something better.
I'm trying to think right now. I mean, obviously for like nicest house, I'm trying to think more private. And like what houses you see. I mean, Biltmore has some beautiful houses.
Beautiful houses. Honestly, Granada as well, where we were playing.
Yeah.
Awesome houses.
And what's cool about Granada and Biltmore is that being in Coral Gables, you know, obviously they have to adhere to the city's code for building. And if I'm correct, Coral Gables is one of the stricter codes of what your house can look like and building can look like. It's like a very much
very
specific.
Uniform.
Yeah, it's all. But it's uniform in the sense that they all look the same. But what kind of architect? Yes,
it's an old Spanish architecture. They used to build like that in the 30s and 40s.
And they still uphold it to this day. You have to adhere to that code. So I think that's cool, and it gives it like, you know, you always feel like Biltmore and Granada. I always feel like those courses have an air of peacefulness to them that a lot of other courses don't have. I don't know. I've always felt that way at those two places.
Yeah, I think so as well. And those neighborhoods in general, very desirable because they're just so family friendly. You're never worried about anything there. Everything looks the same. Everything's beautiful. The downtown is great nowadays, Miracle Mile. They've developed Coral Gables a lot, honestly, recently. But that style of old Spanish architecture has honestly really been always implemented there. And the cool thing about it is I actually found this out like last year. There are some little apartment / multifamily buildings in the Gables, but those are grandfathered in, and basically you can't really have apartment buildings there anymore. It's all single family homes, and that makes it very family oriented. Like you were saying, there's an air of peace, calm, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think that's why people really love playing Granada and the Biltmore. Just to the fact that also those are some of the most central courses in Miami. You don't have to go all the way north. You don't have to go all the way south. And there's great options of things to do afterwards really close by.
Fair point, yeah.
So,
great restaurants and stuff.
Great restaurants.
And it's a very active neighborhood. Got people running, biking.
Yeah,
it's
really
busy.
Up, man.
Dude, we'll be on the tee box and someone on a jog, like jogs across the fairway, like they're not even thinking, which is kind of stupid, but it's a nice vibe out. Like, you know, it's just a nice vibe out there. Everyone's kind of chilled out.
It's very homey, and
yeah.
I've always loved Coral Gables, and that's what makes Coral Gables as expensive as it is these days.
Fair.
You know?
Fair point. But, yeah.
But that's everywhere in Miami. But, you know, if you're living close to a golf course, you're a fan of golf, and you're in Coral Gables as well, that's a triple win, honestly.
Yeah. If you want to live, if I had to choose a golf course to live on, it would probably be Biltmore or Granada.
Biltmore or Indian Creek over there with Bezos and Elon.
Okay, if you want to talk Indian and Fisher, we're saving that for a further pod when they invite us out there. Oh, my fault. I was supposed to say that. Yeah, yo, that's on the way. But yo, like we said, man, golf course living. Obviously, this first episode. Big thanks to Nucleus, man, for letting us hop in this unbelievably nice and beautiful studio space they got. If you're a creator or a content media company anywhere in South Miami to the Grove area or north in Wynwood, then make sure you check out Nucleus, man. Like, really beautiful studio. They have real top-tier tech. They also have office space for share. And just a huge shout out for letting us come in this studio and use this beautiful equipment, man.
Yeah, I second that, man. I'm honestly a neighborhood resident over here in Coconut Grove. I've always drove by here and wondered what it was, but they give us a really friendly and warm welcome here.
Sure.
So if you want to be in a nice, quiet, and relaxed location at the same time in a cool and upcoming neighborhood honestly probably the hottest neighborhood in Miami. And you're a creator, you're creative, come to Nucleus.
Yes, sir.
Record a podcast in a studio like this.
And they also got video studios, man.
They got offices, co-working space. Everyone's super nice here, and definitely strong recommendation to come to Nucleus, Coconut Grove. Sick merch as well.
Yeah, facts. And they have some crazy sneakers in here, dude.
Hey, no, for real.
No, that was like the first thing I saw.
That could be a whole nother
the sneaker cast. Oh, dude, don't even get us started. But, yo.
That's another episode.
Facts. But, yo, Nucleus, thank you guys. Miami Watch Club, thank you so much. Like, really, really cool vibe here. Great event. Looking at these watches is not just awesome but inspirational, so that was really cool for having us out here and for putting this whole event together with Nucleus. And Golf Course Living, guys, podcast coming to you soon. The later ones will be more focused on the realm of the intersection of living, of real estate and golf. This one was a little bit more trying to introduce you to us and our mentality, prepare you for future episodes. But, yo, real quick, my man Brandon, tell him about Soars Property just real quick for the one time.
Quickly, I'm a realtor, mostly in commercial real estate. I'm in residential as well. We're just expanding in the Miami market right now, kind of taking how it goes. It's crazy down here. It's super dynamic. Everyone wants to come here, but that's what makes it exciting, and just super ready to explore more opportunities with Golf Course Living. Both houses and the golf world, which I both love equally. We're both super passionate about what we do, and hopefully we can bring you some cool content in the future on site application, if you know what I mean.
Sure, hope so, man. We have some cool people we can talk to, but hopefully we'll be able to get out there and show you some of the houses ourselves. If you guys don't already know, I have my name's Gabriel Ryder. I run Weekenders Weekly. We are a new type of golf publication that we are the middleman. We bridge generations, and we bring news to you, whether you are from Gen Z to whatever they call the 60-year-olds these days, yo.
The boomers.
The boomers.
The boomers.
From boomers to Gen Z, Weekenders Weekly will give you the latest and greatest golf news, as well as some of the funniest golf clips you ever see. Once again, guys, first ever episode brought to you by Miami Golf Industries. No, I don't even know what I'm saying. But once again, guys, first ever episode of Golf Course Living. I had a great time recording it, man.
Yeah,
this is fun.
Great. We did this super impromptu. We had no idea what the fuck we were going to talk about. But, I mean, here we are now. And honestly,
I see the vision.
And honestly, stay tuned for episode 2.
I think episode 2 is going to come a lot sooner than we all think, man.
Yeah. We might have to get this Nucleus Grove membership, honestly.
Nucleus Grove. Miami Watch Club.
I'm not downgrading for this shit.
We started off high with the first app here, man.
Yeah, man. This is premium. All right, guys.
One last time. Nucleus Grove, check them out. Miami Watch Club, thank you. Soars Property, any house, any building, any site of land, even if it's an inch to 1,000 miles, you talk to my man, Soars Property, right here. Weekenders Weekly for all your golfing needs. Guys, get out there. Go to Nucleus Grove. Go buy a house with Soars Property and go play some golf.
Go play some golf. Peace.